Okay, I think I got this going now. Now I just hang out here looking for other stuff to figure out. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Get it on the right camera. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Get it on the right camera. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Okay, in theory this should be working now. Get it on the right camera. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Okay, in theory this should be working now. Get it on the right camera. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Okay, in theory this should be working now. Get it on the right camera. Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Okay, in theory this should be working now. Get it on the right camera. How's everyone doing today? Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Okay, in theory this should be working now. Get it on the right camera. How's everyone doing today? Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Okay, in theory this should be working now. Get it on the right camera. How's everyone doing today? Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Got a couple people in here. Okay, in theory this should be working on the right camera. How's everyone doing today? Alright, let's see if I can get the chat pulled up here. Got a couple people in here. Okay, in theory this should be working on the right camera. How's everyone doing today? Alright, let's see if I can rearrange all my computer setup here. This should be working on the right camera. Doing some streaming. How's everyone doing today? Alright, just see if I can rearrange all my computer setup here. This should be working on the right camera. Doing some streaming. How's everyone doing today? Alright, just see if I can rearrange all my computer setup here. This should be working on the right camera. Doing some streaming. How's everyone doing today? A little bit beefier of a setup. Rearrange all my computer setup here. This should be working on the right camera. Doing some streaming. How's everyone doing today? A little bit beefier of a setup. Rearrange all my computer setup here. Should be working on the right camera. Some streaming. How's everyone doing today? A little bit beefier of a setup. Rearrange all my computer setup here. Should be working on the right camera. Some streaming. How's everyone doing today? A little bit beefier of a setup. Rearrange all my computer setup here. Should be working on the right camera. Some streaming. How's everyone doing today? A little bit beefier of a setup. Rearrange all my computer setup here. Should be working on the right camera. Some streaming. How's everyone doing today? A little bit beefier. I think I'm going to like this setup quite a bit better. A little bit of a learning curve, but you sure get a lot more control over what you're doing. Gotta move something off of this monitor here. Let me see it just a tad bit better. Now there's a bit of a lag here to get used to, but that shouldn't be the end of the world. Kind of checking on multiple computers here to see how it looks. Hey Ray, how's it going? Paul? Yeah, Paul, actually OBS took me about 30 minutes to set it up, and then I redid my cameras a little bit for some cable length issues, but not too difficult at all. Did a little YouTube and search for doing it OBS, but pretty simple really. How's audio? Gonna add you as a moderator, Paul. Perfect. Thanks, Ray. So what are you up to today, Ray? Let me get a project here. My wife's probably gonna see this, but that's okay. She's been in the shop here off and on getting stuff out of the freezer, but got that anniversary gift all hammered out finally. And I found I am no master when it comes to lacquer by any stroke of the imagination. I don't blame you, Ray. Let's try this dual cam setup here. And this is what I ended up with. Got her all lacquered up. Switch cameras again here. So I think on some level she'll probably appreciate that. Maybe. Still try to cover it up and hide it, but like I say, can't really cover it up when you're letting lacquer dry on it, so I'm guessing she probably spotted it. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing some picture-in-picture multi-camera stuff, kind of like this. This way I can, because my whole setup is actually on a cart, so I can wheel it around on the shop floor. Well, I can do it as long as the floor is clean enough to push the cart around. So maybe in the future I'll be able to kind of do what Ray was doing and have the CNC or the laser going, have one camera on that during the live, and just doing a little bit of chit chatting and knocking stuff out. Hey Les, how's it going? Yeah, Paul, it's really you can set up separate scenes in OBS. So like this is just my camera I have on the pole, which is my main recording camera when I'm doing my intros and outros and talking aimlessly. And then this one is kind of my secondary camera that I got on a longer cord so I can move around. Then I got them both set up, but you just set up scenes and you pick and choose which cameras or devices that you want, add in audio if you want, and it's right under the scenes tab, so you can just click a scene and it automatically loads up those devices and gets going. Whew, that's some bad stuff, Les. Hopefully it's a little cooler where you're heading to. Yeah, that's not too hard, Paul. A little bit of Google searching and it's they got some pretty good step-by-step instructions with it. Hey Todd, how's it going? Yeah, I think I'm really gonna like this dual cam setup, especially when I'm doing some intricate work. So, well, you don't have to sit and look at my belly while I'm trying to put something together or do some fine detail stuff. I like the close up of the bench when I'm doing stuff, but pretty sure no one's really too enthused at looking at my beer belly. I think I got all my settings pretty much nailed down. I was just worried about the audio. I don't want to overdrive the audio and start getting distorted. Thanks, Les. I'm going to see if I can't find some good quality USB cables designed for video work and maybe even a USB repeater. Might even do some USB over Ethernet so I can start setting up cameras, like one dedicated inside the laser, one dedicated for the CNC, because that CNC is ungodly loud. So I'm going to have to do some kind of soundproof into it, build a box or something over it so you can actually hear me talk over that CNC. Hey, ain't that a beaut, Todd? Probably the best table saw I've ever had, to be honest. Yeah, I think what I rolled out of bed and went upstairs about 8 a.m. today, and by then it was already over 90 degrees out on the back porch. Things like a greenhouse, it's full of sliding glass doors, so it warms up in a hurry as soon as that sun hits it, and it is on the east side of the house, so it's getting heated up before I'm even out of bed usually. Yeah, we've had our share of rain here, Ray. What was it, Wednesday? I think we got 7.5 inches, and then the week before, I think we got 5, 6 inches, all within a couple few hours. Been seeing quite a bit of flash flooding around here. Hey Tina, how's it going? Yeah, we were actually pretty dry for a while this year, but I think we've all caught up on the rain that we were missing. Probably got a little bit extra. Looking at it, I might need to toy with some of the focus on my cameras here. Trying to not use autofocus because every time I start talking like an Italian, it's going to start zooming in and out. And I'm really liking this whole scene setup for the multiple cameras. That's going to prove really useful. And I was looking in settings, and there's something to where you can actually program hotkeys on the keyboard, so you don't actually have to use a mouse to select a scene. You can just hit a button and it automatically switches to whichever scene that you program that hotkey to. I've used OBS for years, a lot of times just for screen recording, doing how-to stuff and different knowledge base articles and stuff for my day job, but it's really got a ridiculous amount of features for being free, and I'm all about free. So I'm a broke butt woodworker, or trying to be a woodworker. Ain't gotta try to be broke, I'm good at that. Yeah, right. Actually, it's not too awful difficult. I did a little bit of reading before I really started playing with it in OBS. I wish the YouTube Studio natively supported this, but I don't think it does. But it's no, not an adult beverage. It's straight water. I'm trying to cool off a little bit after cleaning the shop. As you can see, can actually see the countertop now, and it's semi-clean. I actually got some adult beverages going. Did up 2 of them. Picked up some vodka and put some dehydrated blueberries in 1 liter, and I put a whole bunch of rhubarb I got from a buddy of mine into about, what was it, 5 liters of vodka, and I got that steeping right now, so it flavors the vodka. Not a big fan of straight vodka, but take that flavored vodka and mix it in with some lemonade or something. That is the perfect summertime drink. Same here, Paul. Even though I've been doing this nonsense for years, I I don't have patience for much. Technology, especially when it's made backwards. That's the place to start, Todd, for sure. Learn what you need for the immediate time, and hopefully that stays lodged in the memory, so next time you can do that, plus add a little bit extra. And you fiddle around like that for enough years, and you start gaining a pretty good wealth of knowledge. Right. You're not wrong, Todd. Actually, I was toying with the idea of a video, and I picked up some of these things on sale from Hobby Lobby last fall. I've been sitting on them that long. Picked up a whole bunch of them. They're, I think, usually $4 or $5. I think $4.99 for them, and I picked them up for $1.50 a piece. So I think that's what the next video is going to be, is something to do with these. Maybe some sconces or something with some hanging lanterns. I was thinking it'd be kind of neat to take the glass out of here because it's just held in there by little fold over tabs, but take the glass out, maybe do a little bit of etching with the laser on it, and then you can just throw like a little votive, battery operated votive or tea light or something like that. That way the etching will kind of light up. Be kind of a cutesy little decorative thing. That's not a horrible thing. I'm always willing to answer questions. I don't know everything, but I know enough to get by at least. I just got to figure out what wood I'm going to use. I was thinking with this being such a light color, maybe some cherry. It'd look all right being fresh made, but as it ages and cherry gets that patina to it, it'd probably look a little bit better, be a higher contrast with that darker cherry color and the white paint. Although I'm a little torn because thinking about engraving this, since I use the black tempera paint, I don't know if I should just engrave it and then clean the paint off, or engrave it and just leave the paint on. So it would be black panels with etching. I'm not sure what would look a little bit better. I might have to toy around with that a little bit. But ideally, I don't have any of the remote control ones, but they actually work pretty well for just your standard votives. These are ones that I picked up last year right off of Amazon. I think I paid maybe $9-10 for them. They weren't overly expensive, and I think they came in a pack of 12 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Paul, that actually might do really well, because I was thinking since I picked up so many of these, I could almost do like a pair of these for every season. So you could have your little sconce wall hanging thing, whatever, and just swap them out with the season, kind of like I did with that little lantern. Because that's been sitting out since I made it out on one of the tables in the living room. We just swap out the inserts as the season comes. And I've been informed that I need to make more inserts, so I got to get on that. Yeah, the lanterns, they seem to be a pretty good draw. I was tooling around on Etsy either today or yesterday, some point in time. Looks like people are actually already starting to put out their Halloween stuff, and the lanterns are, I can't remember if it was a bestseller or one of Etsy's top picks, but it looks like those Halloween lanterns might be a hot item this year since they're already out on the market and they're pushing them. So they came up, I think, 2-3 times after I had refreshed doing some searching and whatnot for woodworking stuff. They came up 2-3 times on the first page of the search results. So I think it's coming already. That'd be a good idea, Paul. I was thinking kind of like how I did that glass lantern with the what I put in it, butterflies and dragonflies. You could almost do the same thing, but instead of using glass, use some of that paper vellum and just use the laser to cut out a little panel with, say, a witch's cauldron and a witch or bats or whatever, and you can actually put the vellum in front of that cutout panel, and then you have the candle or whatever you're lighting it up with. So during the day it just looks like a lantern with solid panels, but then as soon as you put that candle on, it's going to light up that cutout piece and do a shadow effect on the vellum. That'd be an easy one to knock out too. Yeah, it'll do glass, I'm sure of it. You just got to use the tempera paint, and around here I get it at the dollar store. Actually, let me grab a bottle. I should have some around here. Yeah, I bought a whole lot of it last time. This is the kind that I've been using. And I just cut it with a little bit of water and then just use a low pressure sprayer, high volume, low pressure sprayer, and just spray the glass. But when you do use this, you definitely want to use a heat gun to dry the paint, because if you let it just sit and air dry, the paint and water, or the pigment I should say, in the water starts separating, and all the water comes up to the top and evaporates, just leaving that pigment, and it never really adheres to the glass. And about halfway through, you end up with the tempera paint blowing off the glass. I probably got some examples of that sitting around here. I'm pretty sure I do. Nah, maybe I don't. I don't have an example of the bad ones sitting handy, but here's one that I did show on a video. Let me find something to use as a backer so you can see it better. This is one I did, and that was just using my little open gantry 10-watt laser. So that 40-watt you got has way more power than you'd possibly need to do glass. It's really pretty neat because, I mean, you can do just about any image, whether it's just a black and white line drawing or a regular image that you find online. AI is really good for getting those images. And you don't even have to necessarily trace the image. Say if you're using Lightburn, you don't have to trace it to be able to do the engraving at all. That is something that I want to start doing again, is doing some more of those plates, because I usually get the plates for, well, whether they're the big or small ones, I usually get them for about $1.25 a piece. They're not the perfect plates because, well, they are from a dollar store, so they're gonna have blemishes in them, but makes a pretty low dollar quality looking product in the end. This is one I did that I sold. I just used this plate as a test piece because it had a really bad air bubble in it, so I wouldn't have used that. But I did a set of the small plates like that, person's last name on it. Guy gave them to his wife for Christmas. Got plates all over the place. Bunch of one-off stuff. And something else that I toyed with, doing mirrors. Oh boy, is that horrible to look at. Let's look at this side. But did some testing with color filling on the back with, I think I used markers on that. But mirrors are another thing that you can do. And kind of the same thing as plates, but kind of a different decorative angle. What, that dog don't know how to let itself out yet? I need to get a better fan in here. Got the fan blowing right on me, but doesn't take much movement to heat up a little bit in this shop right now. So I'm not actually building anything right now. Any sort of movement's just ridiculous. But glass is one of the cooler things that I learned to do on the laser. And people really like the place setting type stuff. And I've done some for Easter, kind of the monogram thing that I showed you. I've done them for Valentine's Day. I could use that fan that you showed, Paul. I really need something in here, and it's not a very big space. It's technically considered a double stall garage, but it's not near big enough to get two vehicles in. But it faces the west, so after about noon, it heats up in here just horribly bad. That's why I got the windows here. Got this godforsaken pink insulation, and I got some radiant barrier between the window and that pink insulation just to keep the sun from coming in and heating this up, because if I had those windows open, it'd easily get 100 degrees in here in the afternoon during the summertime and even late spring, early fall. See you, Les. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, this whole camera setup and this OBS, I think that's gonna allow me to put out a whole new different format of content now. As soon as I get some longer cables and whatnot, get stuff set up, I'll be more like Ray, be able to multitask. That's no lie, Paul. Yeah, I've been trying to, on this tray, been trying to spray lacquer, and man, what a nightmare. I had to completely remove the finish one time because it was just too darn hot in here. That lacquer was starting to dry before it even hit the project. It was getting real hazy and kind of a flaky look to it. So I'm down to spraying when it's a lot cooler. So that's nighttime only. So I don't have the luxury of spraying during the day and doing other stuff while it dries. Not a fan of lacquer in the heat. Wintertime, I can at least keep this half decent. Alan, how goes it? Joe, how's it going? Yeah, I finally doing this little cleanup effort. Finally unburied my laser. Love the cabinet I put it in, but it's a horizontal surface, so it ends up being a shelf for all sorts of random crap. With the whole front of it opening up like this, can't even get to it when I got it loaded up. Then I gotta unload everything and stack it somewhere else. So I really need to sort my storage here in the shop and do a serious cleanup one of these days. Not today, but one of these days. But having a little cleanup session here, I was able to clean up the CNC a little bit. Gonna grease her up and do a little PM on it. And speaking of stickers, I actually got one in the mail here not too long ago. Got one from Vinny, VLC. I also got one from Ray and Sandy. Got their new limited edition vintage one. Love how that sticker came out. And picked one up from Crafted by Ray. So I gotta actually do a little cleaning on the bandsaw and get those stickers in place. Have a good one, Todd. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you end up coming up with, Alan. That's no lie, Paul. There's times I just push stuff off to the side because I know if I take the hour or two cleaning, it's just going to look the exact same next project I do. But it does feel not horrible having a little bit tidier of a shop, even though I know it's just going to get destroyed again. Now, I'll say one thing, all this rain we got, we've had a pretty good year of not having many mosquitoes, but after these last two good ones in the last week and a half or so, those things are hatching everywhere. It's going to be a tough rest of the summer for the mosquito population now. Excellent, Paul. Then when I get yours, I'll shoot you a couple back. Is that so, Ray? I'm guessing that garage is going to be a lot drier than what you're working in now, Ray. Especially with all this godforsaken rain. All right, well, I think I'm going to cut this one here. It's almost, yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock my time, and I haven't had lunch yet. So thanks everyone for stopping in. And I don't know, I might just do another impromptu popped up live here with this new setup now sometime soon. If not, I should be getting a video out pretty quick. See everyone later.